am really excited to present this proclamation today. I actually started recognizing World Listening Day in the city of Gaithersburg, most diverse city in the country, during a time when we were in the midst of the pandemic and our students were staring into black screens on Zoom, and we were all kind of shut in and not really sure about the circumstances surrounding the pandemic, and wanted an opportunity for our students and our community to come together outdoors and really listen to each other and have an opportunity to share how they were feeling about all of the challenges we were facing. And so it's really an honor to be here to recognize this day, which officially took place a week ago. The actual day is July 18th, but I thought it was important to see this through on our last day. As really grateful to be joined by some very special guests. We have Sayles, our 46th student member of the board. We also have Teresa Cameron, Vice President of the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra at Strathmore, who will be joining us, hopefully. We also have Christopher Page, Executive Director with the Conflict Resolution Center of Montgomery County, and Emma G., an award-winning artist who will deliver a special performance at the end for us. I also want to acknowledge Ricardine Cadet for being here. She's still here, Ricardine? Oh, there she is. Ricardine is also a alumni of the SMART Youth Advisory Council, part of the first cohort that graduated in the spring, and who is a rising senior at Wheaton High School. So thank you so much for being here. Before I turn it over to our special guest, I wanted to share a few more words to speak to the significance of this important day. As I mentioned, during the pandemic, we witnessed the largest social movement in our history in support of Black Lives Matter. As I participated in protests in the county and watched others across the world, I did not feel like our leaders were taking the time to really listen to our community members who have traditionally been underserved and left behind from government decisions. Hence the theme for the event. I felt it was a moral imperative for us to bring people, particularly our young people, together so that we could hear them talk about their experiences and recommendations for policy changes in the county, which is really significant because this morning we heard from our fellows who have been working this past semester on issues and made some recommendations that we were all really excited to get started working on. Today, while things have certainly changed since 2020, we still find ourselves facing some of the core issues with underlying racial disparities and inequities facing every aspect of our daily lives, which has caused us to listen and reflect and rethink what our future can be and should be. I intentionally brought these speakers together here today as listening is such a crucial part of the work that we do as elected officials. And it's important that we help spread this message, whether it be through listening to music, listening to the orchestra, listening to the natural environment around us, listening to our youth. We know that our society is a much better place when we use listening to empower our diverse communities. So I want to thank you again to our special guests for being here today, and I will now turn this over to our newly sworn in student member of the board, Sammy Saeed, to say a few words.
Good afternoon to all the incredible people who have come here today to celebrate something that's often overlooked in our world today, listening. When we think of the word listening, we may think of having to listen to long rants at business meetings or listen to people that guide us and tell us what to do. But folks, listening is far more deep than what society makes it out to be today. Listening is not just limited to the example of hearing just people, but instead the beautiful and calming sounds of the natural world around us. Every day, I take long walks around my neighborhood, visiting local parks, walking along sidewalks, and even passing by local schools. Though on these walks, I don't just listen to music. I listen to the sounds of the birds chirping throughout the trees. I listen to the soothing sound of the wind caressing leaves. I listen to the buzzing of bees and crickets, and all the other assortment of nature's instruments that are hiding in plain sight. There is an art to listening, a love for the natural sounds of the world that had been lost in the blaring of car horns and squealing brakes that pollute the modern world. Though it's never too late to take a walk in nature, no matter how comfortable your bed may be or how good that show is. Though we also have to appreciate and understand how listening shapes who we are as people. The music you listen to, the people you interact with, the sounds of the world around you, they all play a little part in building up our identity. Listening makes us unique. It makes us stand out, and it makes us love ourselves and the world around us. Because listening is deeper than what you look like on the outside. And while the sounds around us are heard from our ears, they affect us deep in our hearts. I appreciate you all so much for listening to what I have to say. Thank you for having me here, and I hope you'll appreciate the sounds of the natural world just a little bit more after today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sammy. And next we will hear from the Executive Director of the Conflict Resolution Center of Montgomery County.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Sayles, for having us here and acknowledging this special day, because that's what we do. We are the Conflict Resolution Center in Montgomery County, and we don't have people listening to nature. We don't have them listening to music. We have people in conflict listen to each other. And because a lot of times when you're in a conflict, you don't want to hear what the other person says. You just want to talk. And what we do is bring mediators together to have them listen to each other. And the main thing these mediators get trained in to do is called strategic listening. They're listening for identifying feelings and values that both of them have and sharing that to each other. So if a landlord and a tenant is in a fight, we have them listen. And the landlord's main thing is he wants somebody in the space. And the person, the tenant, wants a space. And both of them value money. And how can we get each other our money? That is strategic listening. We do neighbor-to-neighbor disputes, family members. We bring them all together so that they can listen and hear from each other and show that they share the same values, and most importantly, they share the same feelings. And then at the end of the day, they can do what our mission is, to strengthen our peace, our neighborhoods and our community, piece by piece. And how do you do it? By listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And last but not least, we are going to enjoy a special performance from Emma G, playing Together We Rise, an original piece on her guitar. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What an honor to be here. Thank you, Councilmember Sayles. So my name is Emma G, and this is this day, this celebration is near and dear to my heart. I started writing music when I was super young because I needed to be heard. I had my first brain surgery when I was 4 months old, and I couldn't figure out how to connect with people. Fast forward to 2023, and I now have the honor and privilege to work with young people so that they too can channel their voices through the art of music, so that they can also experience conflict resolution, embrace nature, embrace each other, and more importantly, embrace themselves and the diversity that this wonderful community has to offer. Have I done enough? Do I make it up? I know I've dreamt about this for so long. Am I good enough to carry on an empty page? My doubting brain, though I know it's what I need to do. Can I bear my soul and live my truth? I've written line after line. If I'm the hero in this story of mine, I feel it beat in my heart, coursing through my veins. The magic of fear is learning to rise again. breaking the walls we built in our minds. The magic of love is together we rise. Together we rise. And I know that doubt can break us, but that's never quite what makes us who we are. 'Cause you know that we're the riders, staying true to the higher power of you and I. Together we rise, beat in my heart, coursing through my veins. The magic of fear is starting to rise again, breaking the walls we built in our minds. The magic of love is together we rise. Together we rise. Together we rise. They say that every successful child is one caring adult away. But in order to show up, we need to listen to them. We need to listen to each other. We need to rise together. That is the only way we're going to make it through, well, this world. Together we rise. Thank you.
Said you can't have fun at work. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Emma G. And I'm going to hand over a proclamation to everyone after I read this proclamation. Thank you again to all of our speakers. Thank you to my incredible staff for helping us organize this special event. Whereas World Listening Day was established in 2010 by the World Listening Project, a nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting an understanding of the world and its natural sounds and how sounds influence and shape our lives. And whereas World Listening Day takes place every year on July 18th and is dedicated to fostering understanding of the world and its natural environment, societies, and cultures through the practices of listening and observation. And whereas listening is an art that requires patience, attention to detail, and the ability to slow down, be present, and immerse ourselves in the sounds that shape our daily lives. And whereas organizations and individuals around the world celebrate World Listening Day by taking sound walks, listening to music, reducing noise pollution, practicing mindfulness, appreciating diverse perspectives, and whereas the COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated the underlying racial disparities and inequities that have plagued communities of color for generations, which has caused us to listen, reflect on, and rethink what our future could be and should be. And whereas World Listening Day presents an opportunity to listen to our young leaders who work, play, and learn in our community and will one day inherit this community but cannot vote. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland, hereby recognizes the World Listening Day as an essential day devoted to the art of listening and being more mindful of those in our environment around us, presented on this 25th day of July in the year 2023 by Councilmember Sayles, Council President Glass, and the entire council. Thank you so much.